but we remain resilient. We are working to get to those who need as much assistance as possible.
Recovery efforts are underway in the Caribbean as search and rescue teams search the hardest hit areas.
We'll tell you what we know about the damage caused and the recovery efforts after Hurricane Melissa.
We have a deal. Now every year we'll renegotiate the deal, but I think the deal will go on for a long time.
Plus, new developments from President Trump's talks with China, plus a surprising move on U.S. nuclear testing.
And in Paris, a major break in the Louvre robbery. 5 new suspects have been arrested. We'll tell you what we know on the details.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Dan Cummins.
And I'm Kaylee Maritat. Our big story tonight. A Findlay woman says her kids are becoming victims of cyber stalking, saying a man is posting threatening and disturbing posts of her children on TikTok.
For a week now, Mackenzie Burns says her children have become the sick focus of a man online making disturbing posts with her kids. She'll report the account only for him to make a new one. And
the longer it goes on, the more unsettling the posts get. A warning, you may find some of this content disturbing. Michael Sandlin has the story.
I will harvest their organs and it will taste like milk and cookies. This terrifying, threatening post is just one of dozens featuring Mackenzie Burns' children, first appearing on her feed on October 23rd when she was directly tagged on the post.
So I was confused at first and I thought it was a mistake, so I commented on it and told him, I think you're mistaken, these are my babies. In which he responded, they won't be for very much longer, it was no mistake. And I thought, okay, like that was a threat.
Over the course of the following week, she says more and more posts keep popping up, featuring photos of her babies pulled from her Facebook or Instagram, all featuring threats or red X's over the children's faces. Burns says she's just one of dozens of families who are being treated the same way.
This is full-blown cyber stalking, and something needs to be done about it.
But everywhere she turns, she's met with a shrug instead of a solution. Burns says she went to local law enforcement, but they told her there's not much they can do.
They can file a report, and that is about as much as they can do. I've been told to contact my local PD if he does show up.
Even TikTok seems powerless. Burns says the platform can stop one profile, but can't stop them all.
Nothing gets done about it because there's so many different accounts that pop up out of nowhere. They're not traceable. Thousands, if not millions of people have reported this, and TikTok finds no violation.
So now, as the dates posted on her children's faces draw closer, Burns says all she can think about is the safety of her and her babies. 10/31, 11/01, 11/04, those dates are still upcoming. What are you going to be doing on those dates?
Doing everything differently than I normally do. It's been a complete life changer is what this has been. I've been scared for my life.
And Michael Sandlin's with me right now. Michael, this raises so many questions, of course. First of all, I'm shocked that the authorities have really no interest in trying to solve this problem, or that TikTok wouldn't go, yeah, we're going to get all over this guy and knock him down.
Well, that's the thing, and as we mentioned in the package, you know, TikTok can knock out each individual profile, but if this guy keeps making new profiles, I mean, he essentially has unlimited chances to keep harassing this woman and her family, so that's really scary.
Well, I guess if he's truly out in Oregon, there's going to be no retribution. I mean, he's harmless. It's just really offensive that he would do something like that.
It's hard to tell, you know, with online and, you know, with people's motivations online, I don't really claim to know unless we have hard facts. And this is one of those situations where what he says is disturbing. I would be creeped out if I was a mother, but yeah, assuming he stays in Oregon, maybe in the long run they'll be safe, but this is one of those things where you don't know until you know. So.
And why would she be singled out randomly like that?
It's another great question. I think it's the kind of thing where maybe a creep found a photo online and just ran with it. I think it's really the reaction that gets a lot of leverage too, because, you know, she's scared, she's asking him to take it down, and then he says, oh, got another fish on the line. So that adds a lot of creepiness to it. And one thing that she's tried to do, like I had told you before, she did hire some TikTok hackers to try to figure out where is this guy really. And as you mentioned, she discovered that he's in Oregon, the state of Oregon, not Oregon, Ohio, that is. And she's like, okay, I'm hoping he's actually out there because that means he's probably not going to show up on the 31st and try to hurt my children, but she's not going to take any chances either.
Social media, it can be a wonderful thing. It isn't a wonderful thing in a lot of ways, but then again, it's people like that have turned social media and bullying into a cesspool.
Oh my goodness, yes. And that's one thing that Byrne really wants to bring up to people is, hey, now you have to really think twice about things as innocent as posting a photo of your child. I mean, now you might want to add like a little emoji or a censor button on top of your children's faces so that photo can't be used against you down the line. So we've entered an age of the internet where even something as innocuous as posting your family could have risks down the line.
Maybe the TikToks, the Facebooks, all these different social medias, Instagrams need to have more policing, not just for using offensive words. I mean, if you just if I'm responding to you, oh shoot, that was funny. Well, then the word shoot will come and I'll have to serve like a couple of days in TikTok jail for using an offensive word.
Yeah, I think the over-policing is definitely a concern too. But I think someday we're going to look back on this and go, wow, that was really the wild west of the internet. You know, a lot of crazy things like this happen, and I'm hoping someday we can reach a point where creeps like this are a little more regulated.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Michael, thanks so much for talking more about your story. Good story there tonight. Thank you. Kaylee?
We are following stories making it nationwide headlines. 5 new suspects have been arrested in the connection to the Louvre Museum heist. Plus, President Trump's meeting with China's president, what the details are on a deal that was reached. And a Virginia teacher has filed a civil lawsuit with the school district she worked at. But first, the recovery efforts that are happening in the Caribbean following Hurricane Melissa. Hurricane Melissa is blamed for at least 28 deaths at this point. Search and rescue teams work to reach some of the areas hardest hit by the hurricane. Jamaica's prime minister says Melissa's winds tore the roofs off most homes on the island. And Jamaica's international airports are finally reopening. People living in eastern Cuba are also facing a massive recovery effort. In Haiti, catastrophic flooding in one town is blamed for at least 20 deaths. President Trump is on his way back to Washington, D.C. following his meeting with China's president, calling the meeting between the two leaders, quote, amazing. President Trump says the U.S. is reducing tariffs on Chinese goods by 10% as China works to reduce the flow of illegal fentanyl. China also agreed to ease limits on exports of rare earth minerals and resume buying American soybeans. Ahead of talks with his Chinese counterpart, the president appeared to signal a major reversal in U.S. policy, announcing on social media he has directed the Pentagon to restart nuclear weapons tests. This follows a missile test by North Korea, as well as a recent nuclear power test by Russia. It's day 2 of the civil trial where Abby Zwerner, a former teacher shot by a 6-year-old in 2023, is suing the Newport News Public Schools District for $40 million. She's also suing the former assistant principal, Ebony Parker, for gross negligence, claiming that Parker ignored warnings from Zwerner and 4 other staff members that child had a gun that day. Today, Zwerner took the stand recounting the moment she was shot. Her mother and sister also testified, talking about the impact the shooting has had on her. 5 more suspects linked to the theft of treasures at the Louvre Museum in Paris have been arrested, according to a prosecutor. 2 suspects had previously been arrested in connection to the theft, who admitted their involvement in the heist as well. The jewels have not been found yet, though, and it's not clear if there are more suspects on the loose.
2 years ago, a shark attack changed her life forever. This weekend, she'll run her first New York City marathon, inspired by the first responders who saved her. Plus, engineers are taking inspiration from bats to build smarter, safer drones. How sound, not sight, could be the key to future rescue missions. John?
And we're still seeing some rain on radar with lingering showers east and south of Toledo. I'll show you when we dry out, and also that trick-or-treat forecast is coming up next.
We have the latest on what's trending on social media. Here's what President Trump had to say about Toledo on our TikTok page.
From the bustling factories of Toledo, Ohio.
I'm glad, as the mayor, that the president has recognized that our economy here is strong and that our workers do good work, and that companies like Stellantis want to continue investing in Toledo.
For the rest of the story and more, make sure you're following WTOL 11 on your favorite social media platform to stay up to date. Other stories we're tracking tonight: 500,000 bottles of blood pressure meds have been recalled after tests revealed they could have unsafe cancer-causing chemicals in them. Teva Pharmaceuticals issuing a voluntary recall earlier this month for prazosin hydrochloride capsules. The FDA raised the risk level. This medicine also treats prostate conditions and PTSD. If you use the medication, contact your doctor as soon as possible, as sudden discontinuation of blood pressure medicine can pose health risks. A Paralympic silver medalist is lacing up to run her first New York City marathon this weekend, 2 years after a devastating shark attack. Ali Truitt was snorkeling on vacation in Turks and Caicos in 2023 when a shark bit off her foot and part of her leg. The competitive swimmer returned to the water 6 weeks after surgery, winning 2 silver medals for Team USA. Today, Truitt reunited with one of her first responders who has helped save her life and inspired her to keep going. She had just run a marathon with her mother 10 days before the shark attack. This Sunday, she'll take on the 26.2-mile course, this time on a prosthetic leg.
Wow, definitely an amazing comeback story.
Real inspiration, yeah.
So
I can't imagine what that is like, what trauma she's gone through having a shark versus leg, lower body.
Ooh, that's terrifying.
Well, we got Trick or Treat coming up tomorrow. I know
We do.
a lot
the weather's not bad.
Yeah, today was a bit of a soggy day, but we're wondering, will we dry out for Halloween? And thankfully, the answer is yes. We do still have some showers on radar this evening, though, so keep the umbrella for those evening plans. Let's jump into your forecast as we head into the final day of October and look ahead towards the first weekend in November. Rain's going to gradually be ending this evening. It is going to be drying out for Halloween, but the west wind is going to feel chilly, and we'll have temperatures dipping back into the 40s for Trick or Treat. Looking at radar, we are quiet across the metro. Still some lingering showers south and east of the Maumee River. Some communities do have their trick-or-treat this evening, and it may still feel a little damp and soggy. Those winds are still going strong, especially across the lakeshore. Sandusky and Norwalk, 30 to 35-mile-an-hour winds. The breeze has diminished a little bit across the metro, where conditions are starting to turn calmer, and maybe you even saw a little break in the cloud cover with a beautiful sunset. Rainfall totals into Seneca and Sandusky counties about 3/4 of an inch. Over towards Erie County, closer to 1 inch, and down in the vicinity of Crawford County, 1.5 inches of rain. Much of the metro just saw about 1/4 to 1/2 inch of rainfall, and there was a locally higher total in Putnam County, just a little bit over 1/2 inch. The last of those showers now clearing off and exiting towards the lakeshore with an area of low pressure that is going to be moving out tonight as those showers exit as well. So the hour-by-hour forecast, the last of the rain showers are going to be clearing out along the lakeshore as that low slides off into New England tonight. As we head into the Friday morning hour, could see a little bit of sunshine briefly, but it is going to be a mostly cloudy and breezy day for those Halloween plans. Highs are only going to make it up to the low to mid 50s. We'll call it mostly cloudy after a few pockets of sunshine may make a comeback, and west winds are going to be chilly, still seeing some gusts up to about 25 miles an hour. Temperatures top out in the 50s, but by trick-or-treat time tomorrow, we are going to be dropping back into the mid 40s, so it is going to be a little chilly as you're either heading out yourself or just passing out Halloween candy. Likely a dry day. Cold winds are expected with that classic late October chill you come to expect this time of year, and weather impacts into the weekend. It is going to be a dry one, but cool. Mostly cloudy conditions for that first weekend of November, and a quiet and cool weather pattern overall, with much of that forecast featuring dry conditions. So let's look at rain chances ahead into the weekend. Friday is likely to be dry. Monday could feature a slight chance of a brief shower or sprinkle as an area of low pressure moves on through, and much of the forecast is going to be dry with slight chances of showers rolling in Thursday, and then again into next weekend. A dry day for your Halloween into the weekend. Don't forget daylight saving time ends and we fall back an hour Saturday night into Sunday. Those overnight lows are going to be chilly though. By Sunday morning, we're going to be dipping down into the mid-30s, so there could be a little bit of frost to start the day. And heading into next week, there is a very slight chance for a passing shower Monday. Otherwise, our next meaningful chance of rain holds off until Thursday, and the very end of the 10-day forecast could bring the return of some rain showers, but overall looks to be a cooler and fairly quiet start to the month in November. Kaylee, Dan.
For generations, Galveston, Texas has been known as one of the most haunted places in America, a reputation born from tragedy and loss.
Jacob Rascon takes us to the island where history and hauntings are nearly impossible to separate.
It's actually notoriously haunted. It's one of the most haunted places in the U.S.
What? If you're watching closely in the Galveston rail yard, you might see more than trains, and not just at night.
They don't care if it's day or night. I think the whole reason it's done at night is it's usually quieter.
Right.
So there are less distracting noises, and you're more focused on listening and paying attention.
So they could be around right now.
Absolutely.
Oh! Author Kathleen Shanahan wrote the book on Galveston ghost stories.
I have found accounts in the newspaper of people reporting ghosts in Galveston back to the 1830s.
The island has experienced hundreds of shipwrecks, fires, epidemics, and the Great Galveston Hurricane back in 1900, the deadliest natural disaster in U.S. history. Kathleen fact-checks every backstory, but leaves the believing to you.
And I don't ask people to believe, because I think the stories are fun whether you believe or not.
So these are about 100 years old or so?
Just about.
In 1900, for example, a 32-year-old from New York City died in the rail yard.
So he's considered one of the poltergeists in the rail yard and in the museum.
Really?
So he's not too happy about being here. He doesn't hurt anybody, but he can cause a kerfuffle when he's upset.
And what does that mean?
He can stomp around the museum. He's been known to break glass a couple of times.
Kathleen and others insist they've seen the ghost's handiwork, and sometimes even the spirits themselves.
What does that actually look like? So there are what they call full body apparitions that basically look like you or me.
A lifelong fascination for Kathleen.
And I remember asking a priest when I was in middle school if I should be really enjoying all these ghost stories. Was that okay that I believed in that? And he kind of laughed and said, "You believe in the Holy Ghost, don't you?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Then you're fine."
Believe or not, Kathleen says, don't be afraid, even on Halloween.
We're always scared of things we don't know or understand. So the more we know, the less scared we are of anything. And I think that goes with ghosts too.
How about that, huh? Hope you sleep at night. Tuesday's election day in Toledo. We sat down with one of the three mayoral candidates ahead of the election, talk about what they would do if they were elected.
And graduate high school, get a job, get married. That's the success sequence. Ohio lawmakers say that bill could help students avoid poverty, but not everyone agrees. Something like that needs to be in classrooms.
And a former Toledo Streets vendor passed away. We'll show you how the organization came together to honor work and her memory. Thanks for being with us here on WTOL 11 Plus Now.
Here's some of the stories we're tracking for you tonight.
We're less than a week away from the election, and Toledo voters will be voting on who they want to see as mayor. Voters will see incumbent Wade Kapsakavich, independent Roberto Torres on their ballots. Kapsakavich has served as mayor past 8 years, says he wants to continue the progress that's been made. Torres has a background in economic development and worked under former Mayor Carty Finkbeiner. He says the city needs to address blight and bring in more business.
We're just in a stronger position than we've been in years, and I want to be able to continue that momentum and provide sort of the stability and, calm, serious leadership that I think Toledo needs.
Let's start building pride back in our neighborhood. When we do that, then the rest can come in. Then we can start working on our corridors and bringing new businesses into our corridors so that we have thriving neighborhoods.
There's a third candidate running as a write-in, Harold Harris. He's independent.
Well, in just a few days, thousands of children could be impacted by the potential closing of Head Start programs across the country if the federal government shutdown goes beyond November 1st. There is a Head Start program in our area. Those at the Northwestern Ohio Community Action Commission say they are not at risk of closing, but there are others that are.
Ohio Senate passed a bill that could mean students learning when to have kids at school. Students would be taught a success sequence for what would do to avoid poverty. The sequence is 3 parts: graduate high school, get a job, and get married before having kids. The bill passed by Senate Republicans, a 24-9 vote. Senator Al Catrona, who introduced the bill, says studies show 97% of folks who follow the success sequence avoid poverty by the time they reach adulthood. But some say teaching a set plan is not necessary.
I don't think you need a whole coursework or curriculum. I don't think the state legislator needs to vote on this. Why we're seeing a vote on it is because it's meant to reduce poverty. And so that's a really high bar, actually, for one program to achieve.
Senator Catrona says schools would get the freedom to choose how the success sequence will fit into their current curriculum. The bill now goes through the House. If it passes, all Ohio public schools grades 6 through 12 will implement this curriculum.
There was a memorial today for a Toledo Streets vendor who passed away. Vendor Wanda Boudry was well respected by her peers. Toledo Streets came together earlier today to share memories of Wanda. The nonprofit organization provides employment and workforce development to those experiencing poverty and homelessness. Toledo Streets says the fact that she was an amputee never stopped her from doing her job.
She was able to get anywhere and everywhere, but a lot of times she had to travel alone. That means she was in her wheelchair, sometimes late at night, but nothing stopped her from getting accomplished what she wanted to get done.
Wanda was a Toledo Streets vendor for many years and was a huge Toledo walleye fan.
Don't forget to check out some of the other exclusive content we have on WTOL 11 Plus. On a new episode of Off the Radar, the Radar Rangers talk about Halloween costumes.
This week we are talking about treats, turkeys, and tinsel on Off the Radar.
How about that?
We're going to have a lot of fun. So we're going to break up these blocks into different holidays. So the first holiday coming up is Halloween. And this is where we're going to ask Tim and Alexis to help us out a little bit behind the scenes. I'm not really doing anything for this episode or for this block, but we're going to have a fun little game that we're going to play.
Okay.
So since Halloween, it involves not only candy, but you wear costumes for trick or treat, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Typically.
And then for trick-or-treating, you're going out into the weather elements. Some years we've seen rain, snow, clouds, cold, heat. It kind of just depends.
Sure.
So
it always rains on Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
It's a thing.
Hey, it snowed 2 years ago.
Where it snowed? Yeah, that was cool. That was kind of fun, though.
Oh, that was different.
Let's hope it stays dry for Halloween this year. But we have 2 different wheels that we're gonna spin. We're gonna pick a costume and we're gonna put it up against a weather element. We have to see how is this costume gonna do, and we kind of make up a story that goes along with it.
What the wheel looks like. This is the costume one.
Okay, go ahead and spin it.
Oh, I'm
what do we have?
Oh boy.
This is
I
spin.
don't remember how to spin.
So I'll go
Okay.
first just as an example. Let's just see. So we are gonna have, what's it gonna be?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, that's perfect for you.
What's that mean, Mark?
Because you love to have fun.
And I'm silly. That'd be perfect for Ryan.
You're a silly girl.
Okay, so I've got a clown, and then when we pull up the weather element, how is it gonna go against? Let's see. Honestly, this game is a little bit more difficult than I thought than it would be my. Oh no.
A humid clown?
Okay,
What?
so it's gonna be humid conditions, but I'm dressing up as a clown.
Oh, okay. So that's what I was thinking.
So
Your face paint's gonna go.
Yes.
It'll sweat.
my paint's gonna
First thing I
melt
said.
off. So I'm gonna take off my big red wig and wipe the makeup off and kind of fan myself to try to stay cool and not be as gross.
Or you're going to have to reapply it multiple times throughout
That's true. Or
the
also I
night.
could just take my big giant shoes, take
There you
them
go.
off, and also fan that as well.
Maybe you
too,
got a
but-
horn. They can blow
blow the air, horn air.
horn air.
But luckily, I'll have a big baggy suit to help me stay a little bit cool as
And
well.
one of those
too.
red noses.
Honk, honk, honk.
I feel like the nose is almost required.
I
You
like
have to
that.
have a nose.
You have to.
Clown would have been perfect in like a cold, because your red nose would be already red.
Yeah,
Oh, true.
gloves.
If only the spinner I saw it that way.
Dress up as Rudolph.
Or I think it'd be a little more terrifying if it was a clown in fog.
Oh, now you're
Like just a
creepy.
clown like lurking through the foggy.
Oh, evil clown.
You can watch the full episode of Off the Radar next on WTOL 11+.
Well, when I think Halloween costumes for this year, you actually don't need a jacket to cover them all up, right?
Yeah, not feeling too bad for tomorrow, and hey, at least there's no snow on Halloween. But
That's
I
a
guess,
win.
Any weather is good weather for enjoying that Halloween candy. We are going to be drying out as those showers end and move to the east tonight. Highs in the low 50s, but it is going to drop back to the 40s by trick-or-treat time. So a bit of a cooler evening, but seasonable for late October. And then the first weekend of November brings us highs in the 50s. And don't forget, we fall back an hour Saturday night as daylight saving time ends. So we do get that extra hour of sleep. But Dan, as you said, it feels like the sun sets at noon.
It does.
Not too far off.
We get about 4 hours of sunshine a day.
Not enough.
Thanks for joining us here on WTOL 11+.